Good evening. We call the Hayward, Iowa City Council to order on Wednesday, April the 27th, 2022 at 5:30 p.m. All present are council and staff and myself. If you wish to address the council tonight, your opportunity for that will be at agenda item number 1C, open business from the community. So we limit it to 5 minutes per visitor if you wish. We do not have any public hearings, otherwise that would be another opportunity to speak tonight. So it's a short agenda item, but they're all important. So we will start with the standard agenda item number 1A, approval of the April 16th, 2022 regular city council meeting minutes. Council persons have had this in their packets since last Friday.
So moved.
There's been a motion by Travis. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Patty.
Rick, we need to amend that. It should actually be April 13th and not 16th. There's a typo on that.
Okay, thank you very much for that amendment. So there's been a motion by Travis and a second by Patty for those regular city council meeting minutes. All in favor of that motion, say aye.
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 Those opposed? That passes 5-0. Next is approval of April 27th claims for payment. Start to my left with Rob, please, for questions.
No questions.
Patty, any questions?
No questions.
John?
None, thank you.
Travis?
None, thank you.
Monty?
What is 59,352? Says Thompson, says Wind SX install.
I believe that's annual fee for their SCADA system for the water and wastewater. Yes, it's the latest version software from Thompson Innovations.
Further questions?
Good.
Okay, is there a motion for claims for payment?
So moved.
Moved by John. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Travis. All in favor then of the approval of the April 27th, 2022 claims for payment, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? It passes 5-0. Next is opportunity from the community to come to the podium if you wish. Hearing none, we'll move to the mayor's report. We welcome the West Sioux government class tonight. We appreciate your interest in local government. Understand you need a picture. We will give that opportunity when we close the meeting tonight. If staff members or city attorney have an opportunity, if you have any questions for them following this short meeting, I would think they would stay with you for a few moments to answer any questions specifically for them. So thanks for being with us. My only other thought tonight is the fire department has been overwhelmed, as all fire departments in the neighboring communities the last number of weeks. So if you see one of the local volunteers on the fire department, just please give them your thanks and keep them in your thoughts. It's been a trying time with all the fires that they have had recently. That moves us to staff reports. We'll start with Jacob, please, for anything.
I have nothing new to report right now.
Thank you, Travis.
I'd just like to remind everyone we're still in the water watch. We did not lift that last fall. We've maintained our reservoir level since last fall, but we're watching it closely. And if we drop another 6 to 8 inches of our reservoir, we'll be looking to ask the council to go to a water warning. But rain's in the forecast, so we'll cross our fingers. But just know that it's going to take a lot of weeks of steady rain to get us back to normal levels. You know, a good couple inches it's going to help, but it won't get us back to normal. By keeping the water watch in place, it enables us to conserve water in our aquifer during this abnormal dry weather. It's just a means of conservation. I realize gardens will be planted soon, and you can still water your plants if it's done conservatively, you know, just not running your sprinklers 5 days a week. There are exceptions to the water watch. If you believe you qualify, please call the office and we'll discuss it. The complete rules for the water watch will be reposted on the website tomorrow and on social media. So takes everyone to do their part. We'll conserve and hopefully just stay in this water watch. Secondly, I'd like to thank Westview Elementary teacher, staff, Principal Travis Popkin, Sunday Forward with the Sioux County Conservation, and all the students that participated in Earth Day. They did a great job cleaning up the park and areas around Central Avenue. They also helped us plant 4 new trees in the park. So that was a fun day yesterday afternoon. And a reminder that citywide cleanup is May 13th through 15th, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And the hazardous household material drop-off is June 3rd, 1 to 4 p.m. at the city street shop.
Hazardous waste would be like old paint cans, those types of things.
Old paint cans, any insecticide, stuff like that you have around the house that you need to dispose of.
Okay, and exceptions to the water watch, they go through you.
Yes.
Okay. And thanks for posting those on the website and media tomorrow so we can be reminded.
Yep, I wanted to bring it to the council before we put it out there.
Okay, thank you very much. Wanda, please.
Just a couple items tonight. Excuse me. We did our staff training last week. All staff have now been trained on cybersecurity. We have signed the contract with Catalyst to do the monthly training, and that should start within the next 30 to 60 days. We will also, department heads will be working with Jeff Nahava to do a tabletop disaster discussion next week as part of our training. We'll go through our disaster plan and then do some more in-depth training with that at the city level. I'm happy to report that we have hired for our high-tech telecom administrative assistant position. Leslie Carlson will be joining us on May 11th. And that's all I have, Rick.
Good. Well, welcome to Leslie Carlson. Good, and thank you for keeping staff trained with all of those types of things, and the disaster training is always very helpful. Jenny, anything from the city attorney standpoint?
Nothing, thank you.
Okay, we thank you for that. Thanks for being with us. Corey.
Couple things. One, we've been working with all the businesses here in town. We've seen a rash of movie money or prop money come through, $100 bills, getting used in various different businesses. So we made sure everybody's got pens to check them. It's just making sure that they check them. I think we've had 10 that have passed through. So our big worry is like Facebook Marketplace and people selling stuff on there, and they may get one real 100 and one fake 100, and they wouldn't know. So we're just telling everybody to be vigilant and double check any $100 bills that they see, or they should always double check all money that they see. So that's that. Happy to announce we're going to do something different this year with our reserves. Usually we pick one reserve up from Western Iowa Tech and kind of give them some experience after their first year. We're going to actually pick up a student from Western Iowa Tech to do nuisance abatement, keep them at a civilian status, and just teach them nuisance abatement. A lot of the same things go with it as far as the investigation, writing reports, doing that, and it'll just give them one task to really go after and get a feel for. And we're going to take one high school student as well. So we'll be able to touch both the college and the high school and kind of give them a insight as to what this job entails. And then lastly, I issued 10 citations to Josh Iltz out at the old salvage yard. He brought the horses back again. Even though we had a big debacle in 2019, he had, I think, 4 or 5 horses then. He has 10 now and 1 pregnant. 2 of them are colts. They're eating the bark off the trees. It's just unfit. So I gave him a citation for each one of the horses that were actually in there. It's still zoned I-3, not for agricultural purposes. He's been in talks with some of the officers, telling him he's going to get them out of there before the court date in hopes to get the tickets dismissed. I just don't think he has anywhere to take them. So if that doesn't happen, hopefully judge sees it in our favor and we're allowed to get him out of there. They're just going to keep foraging and go through the fence when he's not around, and he has no money to feed them, and it's just sad. So I just want to let you guys be aware of that. And once again, the cleanup day is May 13th through 15th, so get your stuff ready and get it down there. It's tough to beat free.
Okay, thank you. Carol, please.
I've been working with the Northwest Iowa Regional Housing Trust Fund. They're the ones that do housing rehab. I was able to get a contractor to come and meet with us today. They came over from their office. We did visit 3 homes that we will be able to do some rehab on. We'll be spending $24,999 per house. So we were pretty excited to have a contractor commit to doing that work for them. My emergency catalyst grant that you guys allowed me to apply for was approved. So we will get that $100,000 to invest in our downtown building, that Central Parts, to save it so that it won't be demolished and have another hole in our main street. But hopefully everything will progress. We're pretty excited trying to work with everybody and get that to be a positive thing. I've been working with 3 separate groups, or individuals, on the industrial lots. So we're going to have to look at that. Maybe it's some work to be done out there. Friday's my birthday, if anybody wants to know that. We're closing on the decoy, the electronic sign. That'll be closing pretty soon. I don't know if you guys have noticed, Amber and I have written an article that shows up in the paper now the last couple of weeks. 2 weeks ago it was the lineman. This week it was the Arbor Day. So if you kind of just want to watch for that, Amber's been very helpful with that. And also the summer guide for the, kind of like the Hawarden guide, I guess it's a magazine. Last year, Age Media put it out. This year I'm proposing we do 2. One to be kind of a summer tourism guide that the Independent's going to work on with Jason and Katie Anderson. And then hopefully in the fall we can get another one published for all of our fall, winter, Christmas shopping specials and some of the activities we have going on here. And then the website, been working on that quite a bit, but that's an agenda item, so we'll wait and go over that when it's time.
Okay. Thank you very much, and happy birthday on Friday. I don't see it. Any questions for staff or any council comments at this time? Hearing none, we'll move on to agenda item number 3, discussion approval of the City of Hayward website proposals and redesign. I'll refer to Wanda and/or Carol that's been working on that very diligently.
Refer that to Carol.
Okay.
This has been an exciting adventure. I've worked with a few of you guys, and I've also worked with Amber and some of the companies. It's just an exciting thing to have a website that I think is colorful and is up to date and upbeat. One that really will reflect on how wonderful a town we have. So with that, I did go through, I visited with 3 companies. 2 of them were not local. The third one was Agency 212. It is my recommendation that we go with them. In my visiting with Travis and kind of just going around and looking at his stuff, I was able to kind of come up with just security and access, being able to keep that control in-house, which is what we're kind of after. You know, Travis just really gets it. He kind of understands what we want, and he'll be able to, I think, work with us pretty well. I kind of set up 6 steps that I thought we could go through, kind of put it out to the staff to have their input, maybe a strategy session, something on the content that they want to have. Then something to design the website would be step number 2. You know, somehow we want it to lay out what we want it to look at. Number 3 would be the site implementation, kind of where we would want our links and things that we would have added to our website. Then, of course, put the content in, develop the content. Then do some training and education, and then go live. So it's kind of the steps that I have set up, and go from there. But I'm sure there'll be bumps in the road.
Council have questions for Carol on the background work that she's done.
If some weren't pleased with the website, existing website, wouldn't we try a different company? That's the only thing I'm thinking of.
One of the things I think about, and trust me, there are many good companies. It's not at all that. One of the things that I did find when I called and visited with these companies is you dealt with a 24-hour, kind of a customer service, and some of the people that you got a hold of weren't necessarily as knowledgeable as you would have wanted them to be. I understand I'm not going to be working on the website at 2 a.m., but it still was the point that just to be able to get a hold of Travis, to be able to email him. I think one of the reasons our website for the city looks the way it does right now is I don't think there's been an investment put into it. I don't think anybody's gone to Travis and said, hey, we need to redo this thing, let's invest in it. I didn't get that information that there was ever a vote at the council prior to bringing this up about that. So I just feel that looking at some of the other work Travis has done, that we will get what we want.
How many years ago has it been since it was updated? I was just curious on that.
I have no idea.
It was developed by Bass Advertising originally, so we have just been hosting it for the past however many years, so.
Yeah, technology's changed a lot.
The kids on the pictures are Linets, and they were Jamie Linets, and they were elementary school, early elementary.
Any other questions for Carol?
We have to, being a city entity, do we have to look at like ADA 508 just for accessibility for handicap? I don't know if that's been incorporated in the design. I'm sure it wasn't a long time ago, but.
That would probably be a question for Travis.
It is in that cost.
Okay, perfect.
Is it on the current, is it incorporated into the current one?
Yeah, that's mostly for contrast and self-raters and that type of stuff. So.
One of the things that will be exciting about the website is we'll be able to have real-time information. We'll be able to have a chat link. We'll be able to get, emergency alerts out. The design, the graphics, it'll be responsive. I just think getting it up to speed with today's standards, and this is how people like to communicate. This is, our residents, they like to jump on a website or click on a button and be able to chat with someone, or I just think it's a better way for our city to present itself. And if we could get it to be that the citizens knew that this was the source of information and the information was current and correct, I feel like we'd get a lot more people who would jump on there and get answers to questions and not feel like they're being left out. Or, if they have to know why their garbage hasn't been picked up yet, they can jump on the website and the information will be right there.
Any thought of marrying an app with it?
Making it like a mobile?
Like a mobile app that coincides with it?
We could.
Any other questions or thoughts from council? Staff had recommended Agency 212. Is there a motion for that approval?
I'd motion for approval with going to Agency 212.
Okay, there's been a motion by John. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Seconded by Rob. Motion by John, second by Rob to get into contract with Agency 212 in regards to the Hawarden City website. Appreciate the thoughts that security was number one on your mind when you put that together. All in favor of that motion, say aye.
No.
No.
Abstain.
Okay, that does not pass. Do we bring this up again in the next council meeting?
The mayor can break the tie.
No, I can't.
Okay.
That's not within my power.
Okay. One question I would have moving forward, whatever the council wants to do, is this website needs to be updated to be ADA compliant as a city website. So there needs to be some steps. So I don't know if that's something you want to look at, but there needs to be steps taken to remedy that issue sooner rather than later.
It's a liability, and
Should have been done 5 years ago.
They had the opportunity to do it, so.
Yeah, right. We sure did.
yeah, it's likely a third of the cost that's been quoted, so it's not cheap to incorporate.
No, I'm sure it won't be, but that's something that needs to be addressed.
So I would make this something that staff will address that, or the ADA compliant, and would the council like then to have staff come back with a website proposal at the next meeting?
Well, there's no sense in bringing back Plan A. I said, there's no sense in bringing back Plan A. It's gonna end up with the same vote next time, so,
What's the plan B?
I don't know, that's what I'm asking. A different company?
Well, there's two here.
That-
We've got somebody that is local. Where are these two companies from?
Okay. So, we're going with Plan A.
Can we find out if the ADA is in the 5,900 for municipal one, and then if Civic Plus is considering that and there, no design fee?
I absolutely will check on that. One of the things I will say, I mean, I appreciate everybody's input and that it is easier to work with someone who you can call. I do have all the confidence in the world that I can get a great website put together.
Well, then we'll ask staff to bring back more information in regards to Municipal One and Civic Plus. And we will have that on the agenda at the next meeting. Okay, we'll move on then to agenda item number 4, discussion on current and future natural gas prices.
Last week, I got an email from Clayton Energy, who manage our natural gas purchasing. And as you can see in your packet, the prices they went up last fall and they continue to go up. And he basically reached out and we talked about, right now we have 2 5-year future gas packets purchased. We have 1 year left on the first 5-year packet, 3 years left on our second deal, and he's recommending that we do a 10-year deal if we can find gas sometime before next fall in the $4.50 range. I don't think we'll ever see $3 range where we have it locked in right now on those 5-year plans. But looking at what current prices are, and they're also looking that these prices have gone global. So the European market is driving our U.S. market. Sounds crazy that it would, but that's what's happening. With not a whole lot of change in the future other than they're building liquid natural gas facilities along the coast to ship to those other markets because they can make a lot more money. So our recommendation would be that if we can get that good price on gas, so we lock in a 10-year deal, and then in a few years we'll try another 5-year deal to just keep these overlapping hedges so you know what a third of your gas that you're going to use that winter is already locked in at a good rate. So all the other members think it's a good idea. We just want to, I guess I just wanted the council informed on what our natural gas plan is for the future, and that's to keep those different layered pricings, so we don't end up having to buy a lot of gas at $7 and $8. I could have brought it up in the notes, but I thought it was more of an agenda item in case anybody had questions, wanted to discuss it further. But our plan is to go with the 10-year deal if we can get it at that $4 to $5, $4.50 range.
Good idea.
Clean Energy's been a good partner for us over the years once we got in with them in purchasing.
Yes.
They're good. They're very good.
Thoughts or comments for Travis in regards to natural gas and programming with that? Thanks for keeping on top of that. Hopefully we won't hit
Right.
god-awful spikes that we've had in the past. Move on to agenda item number 5, discussion and perhaps approval of a Quadrant folding inserter machine contract. Yes,
Okay. I wasn't sure if you were finished.
I'm ready. Thank you.
Okay. So as you saw in your memo, this contract is a 5-year contract that we have had in the past, and that comes due here shortly. The folder is what we use for our utility bills to be able to fold them and stuff them in the envelopes in order for us to be sending those out to our customers. I laid out some options for you to look at. The 60-month lease is the one that I would suggest that we do at this point. I also asked about purchasing the machine. I don't believe at this point that that's necessarily a good option for us. They told us that the annual maintenance on that would be roughly $2,600. That's only guaranteed for the first year. Typically, you can expect that to go up from anywhere from 10 to 15% a year. So, and then we're stuck with the machine. At the end of the 5 years, we can anticipate that the maintenance cost on that would go up substantially. So my recommendation is to sign the 60-month lease on that piece of equipment.
I make a motion to approve.
Been a motion by Patty. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Rob. This is to do a approval of the contract for the folding machine. All in favor of that?
I assume this is for a new machine.
Yes.
We're not just renewing the same machine for 5 more years.
No. It's the next model that they come out with.
Any other questions before I call for the vote? All in favor of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That passes 5-0. We have no consent agenda items tonight. Our next regular meeting will be Wednesday, May the 11th. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion. Go ahead.
Moved by Patty, seconded by John. All in favor of adjournment, say aye.
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 Hayward City Council is adjourned.